What's up, people of YouTube? I'm Karsatowski and welcome back to the Karsatowski Bowling YouTube channel. So in today's bowling breakdown is the 2003 PBA Pepsi Open. So let's get on to the title match. So this is the title match of the 2003 PBA Pepsi Open, featuring Jason Couch versus Steve Wilson. And Jason Couch almost gets a very interesting strike there, only leaving behind the 7-pin. Jason Couch in his career has 16 PBA Tour titles with 4 majors. Pretty solid career, including we had reviewed his most iconic moment on the PBA Tour when he won the Tournament of Champions 3 consecutive times back a couple weeks ago. And if you want to see those, and just go to my channel, you can go and see all those breakdowns. I'm not too familiar with Steve Wilson, to be honest. I have seen him a few times. Like I think he bowled against Pete Weber when Pete Weber bowled that 289 for his first title in like 2 or 3 years. So yeah, that's where I remember Steve Wilson from. Oh my goodness. That is such a really bad leave for your first frame. But you know what? If you're going to have really weird leaves and open frames, then you might as well do it in the first frame. Just get it out of the way. Because you can still go out for in the 270s if you strike out. Alright. Yeah, just slide that 4-pin over. Yeah, in a situation like that, I would almost always go for it. Because, I mean, it's the first frame, and your opponent, even though they had a spare, you know, most likely they're probably not going to strike out. So, there you go. 221 average, 61 strike percentage, and 78 spare conversion. All right. Boom. There we go. Oh, man. Dadgum weak 10-pin. Title match is Couch 10-13, Wilson 4-1. I don't know what Jason Couch's overall title match record would be. I would say it would be more like probably 16, and I'd say Jason Couch is probably about even with his title match record. Probably about like a 16-17 or something like that, I guess. And let's see what it'll be at after today. Jason Couch, very high backswing with a perfect shot right there in the second frame. Very high backswing. The only other left-handed player that I've seen in the last few years have a backswing as high, if not higher than that, is one of Parker Boone III's sons, Brandon Bone. Which I'm pretty sure Brandon Bone will eventually bowl on the PBA Tour in the next few years. Brandon has bowled in the Masters for a few years now. Hasn't really had too much success in that event, but I would say by the time that Brandon goes out on tour after he graduates, I think he'll be a lot more prepared, and that's a weird lead by Jason Couch. Yeah, he may have thrown that ball a little bit too hard, or maybe the ball just hydroplaned. That's a weird leave, just like Steve Wilson left in the first frame. But that one wasn't because he went high, it's because he went light. But still, that's a weird hit, though. So I thought that was a pretty good shot that he threw. It's probably a little bit wise at that point to just go for count. There's this ball track over there. Those are the flare lines. So you can tell on how much your ball is flaring down the lane by the oil lines. A lot of the times, though, especially with me being two-handed, it's pretty beneficial that I take a microfiber towel or a chamois and just wipe all that off, because especially with having both hands on the ball, I need to make sure this hand is dry at all times, or else in the backswing and in the downswing, my hand will slip off. But a one-handed player doesn't necessarily have to deal with that much, but they still have to deal with their ball skidding too much down the lane, because you don't want too much oil on the ball on especially slick lane conditions, because your ball just will not see friction and it won't hook. So both these players haven't really found a consistent strike line yet, but it is the title match and the lanes have transitioned enough to where they're going to have to get settled back in. It's a really good shot in that left lane. They'll leave a 9-pin. This unlucky. Very unlucky. There we go. Well, this may just be a grinded out match. Whoever just can close out frames and strike when they need to is ultimately going to be the winner of this match. Probably nothing more than probably like a 2-team to settle this game, most likely. I think it might be a commercial break. Okay, well, not necessarily. I think that's Jason Couch's wife and daughter, I think. I'm not too familiar with Jason Couch's family at all, or really most other PBA pros' family for that matter. Or that was probably Steve Wilson's, I don't know. This was from the previous match. And he picked it up perfectly. There we go. Alright. No, I don't think that was from the previous match. I think what they did was they probably bowled a few frames. I think. Or that could have been from the last match. I don't know. Alright. Struck, can opener strike. There you go. Alright, just trying to get locked up here. Pepsi Customer Marketing Manager. They don't really have a lot of brands like that nowadays. Like back in that time, they would have really big sponsors like Pepsi and Barbasol and Bud Light and stuff like that. Baby Ruth candy bar. Oh, that could have been a double but went light. Nowadays, it's like a lot of brands that are big, but they're not like massive corporations. You know? Like, instead of like being sponsored by Tyson or whatever, they're sponsored by Pilgrims. And instead of being sponsored by Bud Light or Miller Lite, they're sponsored by Pabst Blue Ribbon, which they're not bad companies at all. It's just they're not like big mega corporations that have hundreds of millions and billions of dollars. So it would really be nice for the PBA Tour to get sponsors like that again, to get back more sponsors into the PBA, more larger sponsors. Like, it'd also be kind of cool if Microsoft sponsored the PBA Tour as well. That would be really huge. He struck a lot today. In 2 games, he threw 17 strikes. But in this match, he's really grinding it out. And that ball sailed out the window. Fortunate to just leave double wood behind. Yeah, the lanes have transitioned in a much different way from his previous 2 games. So he's going to have to make an even bigger adjustment. I would say for a shot like that, just move his feet a little bit right and hopefully his ball doesn't overhook. because he obviously needs his ball to finish flush in the pocket. Oh, now that could have left one behind. Wow. Yeah, his ball is just not picking up down lane. He may need to even get his ball hooking a little bit early. Exempt touring 04-05, 64 player field, every event top 50 spots and 14 spots from other events. Who's in? Robert Smith, Norm Duke, and Brian Himmler. Man, I haven't seen Brian Himmler since like 2018. That ball just sails again. Basically leaves almost identical shots except the 5-pin standing that time. Dadgum. Yeah, he may just either need to move his feet a little bit right and keep his target the same, or just move everything left and just close everything up. And maybe even slow his ball speed down, because his ball is just not seeing the lane properly. Oh, and that ball almost sails wide again. Fortunate to get that. All right, Jason Couch is up 8. Steve Wilson hasn't even struck this game yet through 6 frames. So if Jason Couch gets a double, then at the rate Steve Wilson's going, Jason will just need to close out frames. He doesn't even have to strike the rest of the game if he doubles. And that's a real fortunate strike right there. Trip out the 6-pin. That's the equivalent of a right-handed player tripping out the 4-pin. Which, it's always a really good sign when you see a player tripping out the 4-pin for a right-hander and a 6-pin for a left-hander. All right, Jason's probably just about $2 million in his career by now. He has been retired from the tour since, I think, 2012-13. I guess he's probably got about $2 million in career earnings by now. Oh my goodness. Man, that ball did look fast, but it never did hook enough how we needed it to. But then again, though, I think, well, he hasn't doubled, so he's not like, he hasn't extended his lead that much. But you know what? Just keep his ball in the pocket and just close out frames and, you know, just see what Steve Wilson does. Okay. There you go. Toledo Open. The next Sunday. See, they don't really have a lot of events like those anymore. Like, they don't go to individual cities and have it named after a city. Like Toledo Open, Cincinnati Open. That would be really cool if they went to Cincinnati and bowled at like Western Bowl. I think they had the U.S. Open held at Western Bowl in Cincinnati one year, if I'm not mistaken. Oh, that's his first strike. And it comes out of Brooklyn. Well, okay. Okay. Well, you know, get it at this point of the match, just get him any way you can. Throw it Brooklyn. Go right up the middle. Get some messengers. Whatever you got to do at this point, just get them all. Not really about how you do it, it's about how many you get. Okay, that's got to go. That's got to go. Oh my goodness. Yep, his ball has been reacting that same way the whole match. Never got his ball to face up. And that ball heads straight for the 3-pin. Okay. Yeah, that's real frustrating when you're afraid to get it to move to the right because it's going to overhook. And you can't really get it too far left because the ball will just sail too much. And Steve Wilson's not having very good ball reaction this match. And this is basically Jason Couch's tournament to lose at this point. Just needs to close out frames and he'll be good. Jason Couch has only had one open frame this game, which hasn't proved to hurt him at all. Leaves another 7-pin. Yeah, these players are really grinding it out today. There we go. Pretty good 7-pin. Okay, now go ahead and strike in the 9th frame to set up the 10th, because really no matter what Steve Wilson does in the 9th and 10th frame, he cannot shut out Jason Couch. Just set himself up in the 9th frame here. See what he does. 9th frame. Oh, mixer. There we go. And that right there is just about going to lock it up. Now there's a cowboy guy. A guy in a whole cowboy outfit. All right, Steve Wilson has to strike out to have any chance. Really. He has just not been making the adjustments necessary to hit the pocket. I don't know if it would have been a ball change. I think a ball change probably would have been helpful. But yeah, I mean, he hasn't been giving himself any favors by just continue to play where he's been playing. And there we go. I mean, he picks it up, but that's not going to be enough. Because even if he strikes out, Jason Couch really just needs a mark. Oh, well, he actually gets that ball to face up. And that is his first strike naturally in the 1-3 pocket of this match. And it is the 10th frame in his second strike of the match. Man. All right, do it again. There we go, do it again. Now that right there is the definition of too little too late. Yeah, if he would have figured that out about midway through this match, then you know what, he could have really done something. All right, get one last strike and go out for a 178. Get him. Oh, okay, 177. All right. Well, yeah, just tough lane conditions there. Probably didn't make the moves that he needed to, and yeah, that basically means Jason Couch just needs a mark and one pin to seal the deal. It's still not over yet, though, because if Jason Couch leaves another split like he did earlier in the match, then this is Steve Wilson's match on the bench. So Jason still needs to make a really good shot here. Oh, that's close. Oh, wow. Man. So many good shots by Jason Couch that he's left so many corner pins. And he almost had a pop off right there, but not quite enough. Well, I mean, he's been really good on single pins all day, so just pick up this 10 pin and get one pin. I hope he doesn't hook at this. Okay, thank goodness, because that's no gimme right there. Okay, now it's still not quite over yet. He still needs one pin. So if he throws into the gutter, he would tie. And that would be one of the saddest roll-offs I think I would have ever seen. To only needing one pin, throw it in the gutter, and then having a roll-off for it. That is a good-looking strike. And that is Jason Couch's 11th career PBA Tour title. There we go. He's pumped up about that one. Yeah, just Steve Wilson could never figure out those lanes in the title match. He bowled incredibly well in those first two matches that he had, but Steve Wilson didn't have it against Jason Couch, and that was a grind fest if I ever saw one. I like really big scores in title matches. We see it all the time, but every once in a while, it's good to have a grind fest. The player who makes the best shots and who closes out the frames, and whoever closes out the most frames ultimately wins the trophy. Those are some pretty good ones too. Anyway, so if you all have enjoyed watching this bowling breakdown, then be sure to give this video a like. Also, if you do not want to miss any more bowling breakdowns, then be sure to hit that subscribe button so you'll never miss any more videos. I'm Karsatowski. Keep watching my content, and I'll see you in that next video. See ya.